Thailand. I went there last year for my birthday.
Really? Mm-hmm. Dang, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You like it?
I loved it.
I need to go to Alabama, though. I've never been.
Really?
Nice to cuddle. It was nice kissing, I can't lie.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
If nothing else, this season's Love Island USA has taught me is that we don't always know what is best for us when it comes to relationships, and at times we need to try to trust the universe to sort of align us with our person. I'm starting to believe in Olandria and Nick. I know part of it was engineered by production because of the fan base, but I'm starting to believe in them because of how they seem to be moving very organically, especially when Olandria was asking Shirley that, does it look organic or does it look forced? And she said, no, it looks organic. And then Amaya and Brian, I think I'm buying it. I think I am. I'm not sure. I'm still suspect of Brian, but I think in this episode I was sort of buying it given how he was talking about her. It could be he's putting on a performance, but I think I'm buying it. And then I remember a couple of episodes ago when Pepe, after he refused to explode Andrina, I said that Pepe, if he's going to go for somebody in the villa, he's going to go for Iris, and I think they'll make a cute couple. And so actually seeing them nurture each other and nurture their relationship, I am a fan. I love how they calm each other, even Clark and Taylor. It seems all the couples seem very calm and very mellow. You can see those that are genuine and those that are sort of being forced into this situation whereby they're trying to make us believers. Ace and Shirley, sadly, I wish I could believe, but I'm not a believer. But anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island USA, Season 7, Episode 31. The mood is low in the villa, obviously, because you've had Elon and Zach leave, so everyone is low in mood. You have Olandria sit down for a conversation with Huda. I think that was producer-driven. I think it was producer-driven because they sat right in front of Nick, who was in the kitchen making something. And so Huda was sort of trying to find out what is going on between Olandria and Nick. And Nick, the thing with Olandria is she seemed very vague. She seemed like she didn't want to discuss it, like Huda was actually pulling teeth out. But she agrees that, she's really liked Nick from day one. She did kiss him. She was asked about her type. She didn't tell us what her type was. She's previously told us that she likes cowboys. And so she said she's open to experiencing it now that it's just her and Nick and there's no one else to worry about. So I think this is more production trying to appease the Nick Olandria fans because of all the hoopla with the fans sort of complaining about people making, remarks that were unsavory. So we'll see how that plays out. Iris and Pepe went up to the terrace. Iris and Pepe are very cute and very laid back. I can see them working. I said so in my review yesterday, and I'll say it again. Iris and Pepe, I can see them working because they're very relaxed, they're very laid back. They seem to be sort of have this foundation whereby they're the best of friends and they have a lot of respect for one another. And so I don't know whether it's a respect because they see each other as brother and sister, or whether it's a respect of whether they're trying to respect their ex-partners, or it's a respect of them trying to make sure that they do things right. So I can't wait to see what happens there. Amaya and Brian went to Soul Ties. They were having a conversation in Soul Ties. They did kiss. The kiss was initiated by Brian, but then Amaya went all in. I still would like Amaya to sit back and not, be all in and let the guy actually pursue her, because it seems every guy she's been in a couple with, she has sort of been applying a lot of the pressure, which I find very disheartening and very sad. You have the girls talking in the bedroom. Everyone is excited to be in their couples. Huda is happy. She thinks Chris pacifies her, or he calms her down. Amaya is happy because she's in a couple with someone who understands her. He understands her background. He understands her love language. They share the same love language, so that's good for her. And then you have the boys in the bedroom busy playing, having a pillow fight, and it's like these boys, even the girls were saying these boys are very childish. Shirley tried to have a conversation with Olandria about her and Nick, and she was just laughing. I assume she knows everything. Anyway, the islanders get ready for the night. The boys were naughty. They put a condom under Huda's pillow, and then she found it funny. But somehow when the lights went out, we saw Chris busy fiddling under the duvet. So hey, So in the morning, the islanders woke up. Well, they were woken up by crying babies. They were, I think the only couples with twins were Iris and Pepe and Ace and Shelley. Everybody else had just one baby, and so it was cute to see how they tried to sort of match the baby to the parents' ethnicity. There were names given out. Some of them were a bit questionable. And the fact that some people didn't know what sex their babies were was interesting. The boys really took on the role of being a father. Ace and sucking the pacifier all the time, I didn't quite get that. I really didn't get that. But the fact that you had Taylor with his child attached to him all the time was interesting. On her part, Clark didn't seem really bothered. She didn't really seem interested. Huda said, it came to her naturally. So I always like this task because I think this is something that should be taught in school, especially to deal with or to reduce the rates of infant teenage pregnancy. So I loved it. I really did. I thought it was cute to see everyone participate and everybody try and sort of take on the role of being a parent. You had, Nick and Olandria, their child. The fact that Olandria was looking for a do-rag to put on her son's head was just interesting because she ended up taking one from Ace. And so I really loved the task. I think everybody did amazingly well, given the fact that, I think part of them are wanting the reward. Part of the others were just doing it just for the sake of, changing their narrative of their storyline, in my opinion. So you have the islanders, they're just lounging around the villa with their babies. And then Huda and Chris come up with an idea that they should have yoga for couples and their children. And so everybody starts to participate. The fact that Huda already threw a straw because everyone was asked to speak about their child and what they think their child will be when they grow up. It wasn't intentional that Chris forgot because people had to remind him, but she was already kicking off. And then he just said, our child will be an NBA star and whatever, the first president and stuff. And for her to take it seriously and be that upset, it's like, Huda, no. This is why I said she needed to go to therapy instead of coming on the show. The moment things went left and she crashed out, she should have gone home. Even when they were opening the doors and Jeremiah didn't pick her, she should have gone home. She should have gone home to heal. Because whatever redemption arc she was getting, the tantrum she through just sort of showed that there's still that Hurricane Huda lying underneath, because she started to kick off and then it was like, why? The girls were all trying to sort of pacify her, but they couldn't pacify her. Amaya and Brian went to Soul Ties. They were busy lounging around with their baby. They're talking about the number of children they want. I still, sadly, I know I should be buying it, but I'm not buying Amaya and Brian. I feel like it's an agreement that they've reached that they will push this as far out as they can so that they win or they can make it to the finale. Otherwise, I don't see it as a real romantic relationship. They might convince me otherwise. And then you had Taylor and Clark sitting with Iris and Pepe. I love that they're all very calm and very laid back. Their children were very quiet. They were very peaceful. And they were asking each other sort of what type of parent would you be? I think these are the better couples for them because they're original partners. Yes, there was chemistry, there was attraction, there was whatever. But I think if you want someone who's going to be in a stable, sustainable relationship, Clark and Taylor make sense. Iris and Pepe make sense as compared to their previous partners. No offense to them. You then have the girls go up to the terrace because they are having brunch and the boys are left with the babies. The boys decide to sort of come up with this game that they played. They were pushing the pram. It looked like a sort of an obstacle course that they were running and they had different sort of exercises that they were doing. All the other girls found it hilarious and they were cheering on their guys for Huda to say, hold his neck correctly, do this correctly. It's like, Huda, it's not that deep. You kicked off when he sat it on the bench because you were telling him to hold his neck. You don't even know how many months or how many weeks old this doll is supposed to be, but you're already kicking off. I didn't like it. That's why I think he told her to shut up. He meant it as a joke. She took it on board seriously. She became more offended. She was riled up. And it's like, It's not that deep, Huda. It's not that deep. There's no need for you to be angry. There's no need for this back and forth. You could tell that Chris was put off by it. If he stays with her, he's only staying with her to stay till as far as they can go on the show. But I have a feeling that if she doesn't mellow down, he's going to walk out, because no one wants to put up with whatever Jeremiah had to put up. No one wants to be called names and to be yelled at. In his confessional, Chris spoke about the fact that Huda likes to be in control. Yes, she can be in control, but she can be respectful with it. She doesn't need to be disrespectful with it. Nick and Olandria go to the daybeds to sit down and have a chat, and they're sort of talking about the number of kids they want, or how big a family they want. They spoke about being a single parent and whether that was something, Olandria was looking at, and she said no, that's not her vision for herself. Even though she was raised by a single mom, she wants to have a partner to help her through the struggles of raising a child. And I want to put money down on it. I have a feeling that Nick and Olandria, if they don't win, they're going to be number 2. I'm willing to bet that, because their fan base, even though they've just recently coupled up, is far surpassing people who've been couples from the start. Yes, there's no day one couples at the moment, but their connection and their bond it's sort of being cheered on and supported by production and their fan base. So if they're happy, we love this for them. Ace and Shirley. Well, Ace is saying that Shirley's a good mom, I'm a good dad, but we're not a good team. Shirley and Ace are settling, as far as I'm concerned. They are settling. There are people that have decided to just ride it out together until the very end, but they don't have, the spark, the emotional connection, the whatever you want to call it. It's missing between the two of them. And somehow they've managed to sort of get wool over our eyes and just decide to do a Timmy and Zita and ride it to the very end and be a couple and, hopefully win the show. I don't think they will. Sadly, Ace and his shenanigans have tarnished their reputation as a couple. Had he been the person that he is now, there's a possibility they would have won it. But with the way he sort of went after people like Jeremiah, went after Austin, went after Amaya, sadly, no matter how amazing, his partner is Shirley, people are always going to remember that. I love Chris because Chris has shown a level of emotional intelligence and maturity, because he knew that Huda was upset. He knew that she likes to be in control. So he sat her down and he said to her, okay, can you tell me what in particular I do, or if there's anything that triggers you, because I could tell you were a bit upset. And she then couldn't sort of go off and blow off, because he had come to her in a very calm manner. So the things she brought up to me don't make sense. It comes across as though Huda has always had to sort of take second place all her life, and now that she's an adult, she always wants to be first, because she's got this habit where she's always comparing. What does everybody else have? Why don't I have the same as everybody else? And that seems to be the story, because that was her biggest issue. You asked everybody else to talk about themselves, but you didn't ask me. And it's like, it's not that deep. Last time she was complaining, you gave Shirley 2 pancakes and you gave me 1. She's got an issue whether she was one of multiple children and had to compromise because others had to be prioritized. Whatever it is, that's the issue with her, and she needs to work on it and see, what else she can do to sort of overcome that. The prices came through. Everybody else passed. The only people that failed were Shirley and Ace and Amaya and Brian. Amaya and Brian, I don't understand. Amaya is a nurse. You'd expect. I thought she was a peds nurse, so you'd have expected them to pass this. But then, hey, just because she's a nurse doesn't mean she's good with babies. So the islanders are getting ready for the night. You have the girls. The girls are excited. They're giddy. Obviously, the baby challenge is over. So they're sort of just talking about their connections and how well they think they're going. For Taylor to say Clark brings out a different side of him. I've said this before. I've said that she brings out the lover boy in him, because he's constantly wanting to make sure she's okay. He's constantly holding her hand. He's constantly kissing her. So I'm not surprised that he himself is starting to notice that. The islanders come out, they pick up their drinks, and Nick and Olandria go for a chat. Nick and Olandria, I think, are trying to suss each other out to see if there really is something there, or see if it's definitely genuine. I don't know whether it's because they feel like if it's not genuine, then they might as well go home, or whether they've been told that you need to try and show people that this is actually a real connection and it's not a manufactured thing. They seem at peace. I love their little chats that they have. It's because I think they've had the friendship before, and then they've had that time that they were in a couple, even though they weren't exploring romantically. What I find with Olandria, I think a lot of guys liked her, but the fact that she kept going, my cowboy, my cowboy, my cowboy, a lot of people took a step back. And now that they've realized that actually her and the cowboy are over, this is why people like Nick are quick to step in. I'm surprised Nick hasn't had a conversation with, Taylor. We always see him chatting to Ace, but I wish he would have a conversation with Taylor and just see where Taylor lies when it comes to that situation. I know he's not interested in Olandria. He's already moved on. And then Chris and Brian went for a chat there. The only two Casa boys left. So they were talking about their connections, and you had Chris confess that him and Huda were physically intimate. And Huda, I don't know whether this is how she believes is the best way to sort of nurture a relationship. Huda needs therapy. I said this before when she had the crash out. I'll say this again. Huda needs therapy in order to learn how to sort of regulate herself. Not only regulate herself, but also learn how to sort of manage and navigate a relationship with somebody else and make sure that she's not constantly prioritizing herself, but she's also taking time to prioritize her partner. We had, Nick and Ace having this conversation about his coupling with Olandria. I know earlier he spoke about the fact that, Olandria was, being sort of physically intimate with him, and he was getting excited. Ace was asking him, how are things going? Is it genuinely there, or are you just, forcing it? And he said, no, I really like her. I agree that he really liked her, but I think to save face, this is why he said to her, no, it's just a friendship vibe. And because he had a connection with Sierra, I think he didn't want to lose that. So he decided to sort of focus on the one with Sierra. And now that that has gone out of the way, he has now been given the passport to sort of explore Olandria. And he seems willing and very happy to do that. On the other side of the villa, you have Shirley and Olandria having a conversation. And Olandria is asking Shirley, when you look at Nick and I, do we look like it's genuine, or does it look like it's forced? Does it look like we really enjoy each other's company? And Shirley obviously is going to tell her what she wants to hear. So she told her, no, you look happy. It looks amazing. I encourage you to continue to grow and go with it. Because at the end of the day, she can't, give up on that, because she's got no other choice. It's either she goes with Nick or she's single. So I'm happy that she's continuing to sort of explore that. And hopefully when they leave the villa, they can continue to explore that. Nick said he had told her already that he's never been to where she lives. So hopefully that will help them grow as a couple, and they'll be able to sort of navigate that. You had Iris and Pepe. I remember calling it. I remember saying that when Grayson went home, that because Pepe stayed behind, my money was on him exploring with Iris. I feel like, and I think they reiterated that they didn't explore it because they always saw each other as brother and sister vibes since they came in together, and now they're taking the opportunity to explore it. What I think they like about each other is they're both very laid back. They're very easygoing. They've got this friendship that they've built before. So they did share a kiss, and you could tell that they were really excited. The fact that we haven't heard Iris talk about, TJ. If I had my money to put my money down, I would put my money down on Pepe, because I think he's a better partner for her as compared to TJ. I think TJ is just, I don't know, something about him is a bit off. I don't quite understand him. Anyway, so the islanders are just hanging around the villa, and Amaya is taking pictures. Well, she's looking for pictures, and she receives a text message that says, Islanders, the hideaway is now open. Please choose one couple to spend a private night together. I found it suspect. I really did, because when people are saying we're in very good couples, especially after Ace and Shirley had this small date, you'd expect them to be the ones to go to the hideaway. But for people to offer up Amaya and Brian, a new couple, tells you that people know that either one, they don't want to be recorded on camera or having sex, or they know that their couple is not genuine, and therefore they don't want to do that. I would have expected Huda and Chris to go because of the fact that they've already done it in the bedroom with everybody else. But then according to Huda, Amaya and Brian kept them all up the night before. They were busy making out. Brian was very excited. Amaya was very excited. So I love this for them. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 30. Bye guys.